I'm standing here on the steps of BC Supreme Court in downtown Vancouver. It's in this building that we'll see how the Vatican's announcement plays out in cases of Indigenous land claims. That's because the doctrine of discovery is a legal concept that basically let European explorers claim land when they discovered it. Now that it's been officially repudiated, Indigenous leaders in BC are celebrating.
It's quite significant as a statement by the Vatican saying that was never our intention, or that we didn't intend for the application of the doctrine of discovery as it has been applied.
The doctrine of discovery isn't law in Canada, but experts say it's had a huge impact on how laws were written and interpreted. For example, it's meant the burden has been on Indigenous communities to prove land belongs to them in court, because otherwise, the land is just assumed to belong to the Crown.
It's our land. It was taken from us, stolen from us, and yet we're the ones that have the onus of proving our title. And this, of course, just shifts that because this was our land. This is our land.
The Truth and Reconciliation Commission called for those concepts to be thrown out by Canadian and provincial governments back in 2015. That hasn't officially happened, but BC has committed to making its laws align with the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, UNDRIP, which also rejects the doctrine of discovery.
So the question will be, is BC ready to put actual action and law reform in cooperation with Indigenous peoples in alignment with the commitments it's made?
In a statement, Minister of Indigenous Relations Murray Rankin said interpreting BC's law in a way that's consistent with the UN Declaration is essential for reconciliation. We reached out to BC's Attorney General for a response, but haven't heard back. In any case, we could see how the Vatican's announcement plays out in court as early as next week. The Gitga'ala Nation is taking the province to court over land rights on the north coast of BC. It's the first major case to consider BC's Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples Act. Eva Yuguen-Senge, CBC News, Vancouver.